his move and took that to the finish. Very impressive performance as the final preparations being made here for the Brooks women's 800 meter. Just as talented a field. Of course, you see towards the middle right side of your screen, Nikki Hiltz. They're coming off that fabulous performance at the U.S. Olympic trials. Nikki Hiltz earning a spot at their first Olympic Games, coming off a U.S. championship the previous year as well. And Nikki Hiltz certainly probably the headliner, or certainly one of them, of this meet here today. Dropping down to the 800, also scheduled to compete in the 1500 later as well.
Yeah, without a doubt, Nikki Hiltz is one of the superstars domestically and worldwide in track and field. Their accolades may be more well known over the 1500 mile distance. I will differentiate those two. They are very different events. The 1500 and the mile may not seem like it, but they are. But Nikki running 3:55, a huge personal best for them in the final of the 1500 meters. AJ, when you just said the 1500 meter finals at the Olympic trials, my face just bloomed into a big smile because that was one of my absolute favorite events to watch. An electric race there being driven by the hard charge of Ellie Purrier, taking that race out in 61 seconds. What an incredible race. And Nikki just executing to perfection, showing that textbook finish there. We'll see what they have in their legs tonight over 800 meters. Rocking a Volt Lululemon speed suit there is Hiltz. Their cadence, just so quick. Such an incredibly powerful and efficient runner.
Wave to the fans who are certainly excited to see Hiltz out here today. Yeah, that field, the 1500 meter field at the Olympic trials, just showcased how deep American running has become in that event. Every representative from the Tokyo Olympics was in that final at the trials. Hiltz earning their first Olympic appearance, as we noted as well, as we go through some of the other competitors in this section of the Brooks women's 800 as Nikki Hiltz makes their way to the start line. Christy Schofield, 2022 NCAA champ, placed 6th in the U.S. trials finals. Susan Aneno, 159.95 seed from Uganda, 5-time American Athletic Conference champ. Got Sammy Watson, sub-2, 2018 NCAA outdoor champ at Texas. Don't forget about Brenna Detra as well, who competed in Music City Track Carnival. But Nikki Hiltz competing in 2 events, scheduled to compete in 2 events today, trying to work on their speed here in the 800. Certainly the one to watch.
Yeah, AJ, as we were talking about earlier, again, when you have athletes that you have to race like Faith Kipyegon, Nikki hasn't had to race Faith this year, but you just have no idea. When Faith has to race those Ethiopian runners, I remember last year or 2 years ago, at the World Championships in Eugene, when the 1500 went out in sub 60. I mean, that's world-class 800 meter pace. And so you really do have, if you have a medal is on your horizon, that's in one of your goals going into the Paris Olympics, you have to be prepared for absolutely anything. And so I believe Nikki will very likely, I don't know why I'm going to do this, I'm going to put a projection out there. I believe Nikki will come away victorious in this race tonight. They're running incredibly well. They're just running, better than only but a few people on planet Earth right now, which again is so exciting for these fans in the stands and those watching from home on the runner space right now. But what a treat it is that we get to see Nikki drop down in distance and run the 800, hopefully looking for a smashing personal best tonight.
I thought Kara Goucher said it well when she was describing Hiltz's background heading into the trials. They're in the best form of their career. Nikki Hiltz is running their best times, their best results, and is ready to continue that momentum into Paris. Good opportunity to keep the vibes rolling here today. Nikki Hiltz, U.S. Olympic trials champion in the 15. Crowd is excited to see them today. Don't forget as well, Kendra Coleman, 2 flat 76 seat time in the final stages of her career. Recently talked about just the gratefulness she has to continue to compete in the closing stages. Michaela Meyer, 2021 NCAA champ at UVA, started her career at Delaware. One in store right now.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, AJ, earlier, fantastic to see Sammy Watson, the prodigal high school talent, turned NCAA champion at Texas, run under 2 minutes for the first time in her career. But a couple weeks ago, And that's a huge barrier. I feel like it doesn't get as much love as maybe some of the others in track and field, but 2 minutes is you're in rarefied air up there, and Sammy Watson finally able to eclipse that is a really great feather in her cap, and you know, testament to the perseverance that she's had in her career.
Detra and Hiltz, the lone two with seat times under 2 flat. Just about everybody in this field right around it. Gun is off for the Brooks women's 800 meters, headlined by Nikki Hiltz, starting in lane 5 here. They'll break in after the cones on the backstretch. Klaudia Kazimierska with the pacing duties here.
Klaudia needs to take a look behind her and realize that the field is about 10 to 15 meters back. She got a little hot for this field of a lot of 1,500 meter specialists, but exciting to see Nikki Hiltz there driving the charge for the rest of the field. Obviously, they are not scared of taking the lead here. 500 meters to go. This is a very comfortable position for a miler, but there's a host of 800 meter specialists sitting behind Hiltz, excited that they are willing to do the work here, coming through in 58 seconds, 57.87, in fact, through 400 meters.
Hiltz trailed by Sammy Watson, the 2018 outdoor champion at Texas A&M, also the former U20 world champion. Hiltz has led this, behind the pacer I should say, but led since 150 mark here. Nikki Hiltz down the backstretch, in the lead wire to wire now. It's still Watson right behind.
Nikki looking, I don't even want to say this, incredibly comfortable. Very comfortable, AJ, is Nikki Hiltz. But don't count out Sammy Watson. Again, as we said, Sammy coming off of that sub-2 performance a couple weeks ago. Nikki having done the lion's share of leading of this entire race for the rest of the field. All the pursuants have had nothing to do but look at the back of Nikki Hiltz. And here come with 80 meters to go. It's Nikki Hiltz and Sammy Watson. Who's going to have the better of the day? It looks like it's Hiltz.
Nikki Hiltz in the form of their career and continuing the momentum. Hiltz will take the Brooks women's 800 meter title, crossing the tape in 1:59.42. Hiltz leads wire to wire, and they are the victor here in LA.
Running 1:59.4. AJ, dare I say the hard way, 57.62, but that's exactly what you want as a 1,500 meter runner. You want to feel that sting from a long way out. You want to be ready to close in that exact amount. Basically, you have to close the 1,500 meters at the Paris Games in about that same time. But as you saw there, Nikki about 10 meters off the pace that are getting out a bit hot. But this is a great race simulation for Nikki, getting ready for the Olympics, getting that pressure from Sammy Watson with about 100 meters to go, and then just going to work over the last 50 meters, putting distance between themselves and the rest of the field.
Comfortably wins in the end. Hiltz's personal best, by the way, in the 800, 1:59.03. That was at Azusa in April of 2023. Not all that far off in this race right here. Has to be pleased with that performance. We'll gear up for the 1,500 here in just a bit. Nikki Hiltz takes the 800 here at Occidental College.